Over the next 6 seconds, we see one agent reaching into the SUV, Miss Good starting to drive, then Agent Ross firing 3 shots. Now let's go back and analyze some of the key contested moments of the agent's cell phone video, alongside other footage to break down what happens during these critical 6 seconds. Here, the agent's cell phone footage shows he's moving directly in front of the SUV, as it's reversing and rotating towards him, initiating a 3-point turn apparently to leave. Law enforcement officers are trained to avoid doing this because it puts them in danger and often leads to the use of force against drivers. The cell phone is focused squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right, away from the agent.
With the visual investigations team at the New York Times and detailed second-by-second video analysis of all the video footage for the killing of Renee Good in Minneapolis. This is a crazy way to fucking do this, by the way, frame by frame. Like, why wouldn't you post this as a regular, whatever.
This is a cell phone video filmed by
they made this straight for TikTok.
The ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis. The White House press secretary said this footage reaffirmed President Trump's previous claim, based on other videos, that Miss Good, quote, didn't try to run him over, she ran him over.
Get out of the car.
Watched in isolation, the cell phone video might look like that's the case. But when analyzed alongside other angles of the shooting, synchronized by the Times, a much more complicated picture is revealed. More footage will likely emerge, but the currently available visual evidence still shows no indication Agent Jonathan Ross got run over. The footage does provide some visibility into the positioning between the agent and Miss Good's SUV and the key moments of escalation. And it establishes, frame by frame, how Agent Ross put himself in a dangerous position near her vehicle in the first place. About 3 minutes before the shooting, footage shows Miss Good and her wife park their maroon SUV in the middle of the street and begin honking and heckling. Administration officials say they were impeding and blocking immigration agents. Footage shows 11 vehicles maneuver around the SUV, including this Chevy Tahoe driven by Agent Ross. When he exits, he's already filming Miss Good's SUV, not with a body camera typical of most law enforcement, but using a cell phone in his hand. It's not clear why. The agent's footage shows his interactions with Miss Good.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
And her wife.
I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning.
There's verbal jabbing.
It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S.
By the way, when she says it'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later, what she's indicating is they're leaving, but you can conduct an investigation and try and, criminally punish us after the fact. Ross, on the other hand, obviously has a different opinion in mind.
We see the agent switching the phone from his right hand to his left as he heads toward the front seat of his Tahoe.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
During this time, on the other side of the SUV, 2 new agents arrive in a pickup. We see Miss Good motions them to go around.
Yeah, she's also talking about ice switching plates, yes.
Around her.
Go ahead. Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Over the next 6 seconds,
Out of the car.
we see one agent reaching into the SUV, Miss Good starting to drive, then Agent Ross firing 3 shots. Now let's go back and analyze some of the key contested moments of the agent's cell phone video, alongside other footage to break down what happens during these critical 6 seconds. Here, the agent's cell phone footage shows he's moving directly in front of the SUV, as it's reversing and rotating towards him, initiating a 3-point turn apparently to leave. Law enforcement officers are trained to avoid doing this because it puts them in danger and often leads to the use of force against drivers. The cell phone is focused squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right, away from the agent. Cut to this high angle and zoom in.
Will Asman go watch this? No. And if he does, he'll go, yeah, you see what they're trying to do is they know they're in the wrong. everyone knows they're in the wrong. Everyone agrees with me. This is the common sense position. And yeah, so fake liberal news is doing their very best to make sure that it just looks different. But don't believe your lying eyes, right, guys? Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah. Giant Dr. Pepper soda canister that he's sucking on.
We can make out the agent's body and his arm filming. We can also see at the same time he's beginning to lift his other arm. On these cameras, we can see what's happening around Agent Ross. The other agent is yelling orders and reaching into Miss Good's SUV.
Wait,
Her
what
front
the
tire
fuck?
spin.
I had not seen this one before. Whoa, is this a new angle? Oh, shit.
As she continues turning right. Agent Ross is at least a few feet away from Miss Good's SUV. He does not appear to move out of the way. As the SUV rolls forward.
I don't know if the New York Times will actually mention this. I don't know if the New York Times will actually show this or say this, but ICE agents diving in front of vehicles in an effort to get a legal kill was such a broad problem that it was actually investigated in 2014. It was reported on, I believe, in 2016. This was something that they kept doing over and over again, that they had to change the law enforcement manual for ICE agents. Just so you understand.
The agent unholsters his firearm. We see in his cell phone video at this moment the camera drifting off to the left. The agent is no longer focused on filming. It's at this point in the...
Look at her biting her lip and looking directly at the cop before driving forward. Wait, biting her lip? Are you all right, dude? What the fuck? The car does not even run him over. What the fuck do you mean biting her lip? You have to be a real psychopath. Dude, you are so deranged, brother. What the fuck?
Cell phone
Anyway,
video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently. To the left. The agent is no longer focused on filming. It's at this point in the cell phone video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently.
Bro, she definitely ran him over. Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Just watch the video.
On the other camera, we can see what's happening. Here is Agent Ross aiming his gun at Miss Good. And here is his outstretched arm leaning toward her vehicle, which is barely visible behind the top.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
His phone, which is gripped in his left hand, flips over when the agent's hand lands on the front of the vehicle. There's an audible thud when it hits. The camera rotates up towards the sky. Again, while it appears the agent's getting knocked over, we can see that's not the case from the other angle.
Wait a minute!
Which shows he's standing with his hand near the headlight, his torso and legs away from the vehicle. In the cell phone footage, the agent's face flashes on screen, then it goes black. The other angle shows us why. We can see the agent's foot sliding, his hand bracing against the SUV, and his arm getting pressed into his chest. It is impossible to determine if this is happening because of the SUV's movement or the icy asphalt, or more likely, both. And what's very unclear because of the limited quality and availability of footage is whether the agent's upper body gets swiped by the vehicle as his left foot slides back. This moment is when Agent Ross fires.
And if you notice, both of his feet are directly outside of the trajectory of the car. What happened to the other angle? I think the other angle probably stops filming because they got scared or panicked or something. So I suspect I had not seen it before, and that's the reason why they're not showing it. Or maybe they might go back to it. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the other angle, but that's my suspicion.
Look at that. We see the other agent pull back from the SUV. Both of them stumble, apparently slipping on the ice. This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see in multiple angles that there's a visible gap between the vehicle and his legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path.
But you literally see it. You fucking see it. You see it in every angle, even the angles from behind where both of his feet, when he fires the first shot, are outside of the trajectory of the vehicle, okay? The vehicle is traveling in a different direction. He leans into the car. Why do we even argue if he ran her over or not? She shouldn't have shot her anyway. You mean he shouldn't have shot her anyway? Yes, he shouldn't have shot her regardless. He shouldn't have actually approached the car from the front. All of these things are true. But the real reason why we're fucking arguing on this is because this is such a breaking of reality, a fracturing of reality point for so many people that I am going to consistently keep hammering this position over and over again, because it's very clear that while all those other things that you're saying are true, okay, he had no right to actually react this way, and it is a execution in fucking broad daylight. There are still people who are trying to find a way to justify it. That's why they talk about like, oh, she was licking her lips and all this shit. Where's that fucking chatter? Where's that fucking chatter that was talking about how she was licking her lips? Is he still in here? You're a dumbass weirdo. Now you know you have no excuse. She wanted to hurt that cop, biting her lip like someone going for a punch. Wait, what? Bro, I'm sorry. We can't live in a society with you. Okay, you are cattle. You are literally cattle if you genuinely are still maintaining this position when you see that she literally is avoiding him. Like, look at this. Look at this. He's leaning onto the car. Both of his feet are away from the trajectory of the car by the time he starts shooting. Here's the 2014 quote from the CBP panel that can answer Chatter's question. In many cases, Border Patrol officers were discharging their weapons out of frustration rather than to guard their safety. It suggested that officers were purposely placing themselves in front of moving vehicles and then shooting at them. This guy didn't even fucking place himself entirely when he started blasting. He was already away from the trajectory. But even if he was directly in front of the moving vehicle and he placed himself directly in front of the moving vehicle to shoot this person and then end up shooting this person and killing them, they would be liable because they placed themselves in front of the moving vehicle. This was in 2014. Fun fact about the murder of Renee Good. One reason why CBP issued policies instructing officers not to stand in front of vehicles is because of the internal reports showing that Customs and Border Patrol officers were deliberately doing so to have an excuse to open fire. Spoilers as to why Jonathan Ross was so calm in the camera footage he took and why he was getting his gun out before Good's car made any movement. Good was dead the moment she backtalked him. He just didn't have his excuse yet. Because if what that chatter was saying is true, can you imagine? ICE agents can just be around your car, and if you fucking bite your lip, they can assassinate you. Now, if that person had a single human being that cared about him, they would probably reconsider this position. If that person had a mother, for example, right? A mother that he still talks to, a sister that he still communicates with, he would perhaps think, well, what is this argument that I'm presenting here? That if like my mom is in the vicinity of a fucking ICE agent and the ICE agent assumes that she's biting her lip, then, you know, it's over for her. It's time for her to be assassinated. Sorry. What a psychotic fucking attitude to openly demonstrate. This is what I'm saying. Not only do we no longer have consensus reality, but because of how isolated and how alienated we are in this increasingly atomized reality that we've concocted on the internet, people don't have the capacity to feel shame. This is something that is so shameful that even the grossest fucking loser would probably feel bad about revealing. Okay? Man is a social animal after all. And because the only socialization that these people are experiencing is on the internet, they get to demonstrate antisocial behavior such as this one. This is why I always stress the importance of touching grass. Like, the argument that he's presenting is she bit her lip and therefore she should be killed. Like, what a psychotic fucking thing to say. With no care or consideration to what this means for a grand design. Is that a society that you want to live in? Where cops or ICE agents, which are not even real cops, can just kill you when you're in your fucking car and you bit your lip? Really? Lip biting indicates wanting to murder someone? I didn't even see the fucking lip biting, and I don't even think that it's happening. That's something that he fantasized. But even if it was real, can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? That's justification. Like, Your Honor, I'm the legal counsel for Jonathan Ross, ICE agent Jonathan Ross, and I have an open and shut case here. Let my man go. She was biting her lip. You would get fucking thrown in prison after that. She was frowning at him, Your Honor.
His legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path. The agent's left hand is still against the vehicle and gripping his phone. We see as he fires, it's recording the clouds and the trees overhead. It's not because the agent is knocked to the ground. The other angle shows he's still standing, continuing to maintain his grip on his phone and his gun, and we see a clear and growing gap between his body and the SUV as he fires a second shot and a third. None of the bullets have the effect of stopping the SUV.
The arguments have devolved so much. Like, back in the day, they would be like, well, he has a gun, or she has a gun, right? Oh, I was in fear for my life. He actually was not complying with commands. That's a devolution from, like, having a gun. Nowadays, is she was biting her fucking lip. What the hell?
But they kill Renee good. According to our analysis of audio from Agent Ross's...
These dumbasses are so brain broken. How do we fix this? You don't have to. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to associate yourself with that. You don't have to be around that. Those people only exist on the internet. I need you to understand. The average person, no matter how hog-like they are, the average person doesn't operate like that. And I need you to understand, like, most normies, if you were to have a sincere conversation in a larger friend group and a guy like this, who was like maybe an Asmongold fan who never revealed that they were an Asmongold fan until that very moment, if they said something like that, it's over. They're getting isolated from that friend group. Straight up. I know that some of you have parents that are brain broken by AI, Facebook, and a bunch of different things, so you think like every other person feels this way. It's not the case. I promise you it's not the case. And there's polling to indicate that it's not the case anyway. You got a fucking majority of Americans saying abolish ICE, okay? It's clearly not the fucking case.
Cell phone video. This is his reaction.
Fucking bitch.
What the fuck? What the fuck did you do?
According to a White House spokesperson, Agent Ross, quote, suffered internal bleeding after he was struck by the car.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Later that evening, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that he had been treated at a local hospital and released.